Welcome to PNC Sports. Done with the first week of the NBA season. I wanted to talk about the Lakers again. They started the first week 0-3. I don't really want to talk about the game and how they looked yesterday against the Blazers. They looked like they are a pretty good defensive team, but they also look like a team that can't shoot at all. And things like that are just not going to change. That's not, like I said earlier in the week, last week, that this team ain't built to shoot. They can't shoot. They don't have shooters. So, but they did take less threes last game, which gave them a better chance at winning, which they should have won. I won't go into depth about yesterday's game. What I will say is we had 3 possessions that did not work. First possession, Pat Bev took a long 3, but it was at the buzzer, got it. LeBron took a bad 3. Westbrook took a bad shot. AD didn't touch the ball. We didn't think that whole 3 minutes. We didn't think that through. We had the lead. We should have slowed the ball down. Got the ball inside. As I've been saying, you have to attack the rim. You can't force shots. If you can't shoot, you can't force shots, especially when you're trying to close a game out that you're winning. You should slow the game down. I said we're gonna have to just be physical, play defense, and win ugly, low-scoring games in order to win. We were on the verge of doing that, but we didn't execute like we were supposed to execute late in the game. Westbrook took a terrible shot. LeBron took a terrible shot. Jeremy Grant ran by LeBron on a go-ahead bucket, and that was all she wrote. That was it. That was the game. So Dame went off, had a great game, and that was pretty much what happened there. But what I wanted to really talk about is 3 options the Lakers have going forward with the roster that they have, or how they can change the roster that they have in 2 different ways, which will require both trades. Option 1 for the Lakers, they can play this season out. Like, they can stay pat, keep everybody. I don't really see this as the option that most of the fan base would want to go with, but they can play this year out, have $30 million in cap space next year with Russ gone, and use that to build around LeBron and AD, a real good team around them. And that could be possible. Like, I think they could play this year out and build a real team that possibly could contend next year if LeBron and AD are healthy and still playing at the level that they're playing at now. I think that one, to me, makes long-term sense, because if you trade Russ now and you get back some guys with contracts that extend beyond this year, now that's your roster for next year. Like, you never get to go and play with some money to go and put together a roster around LeBron and AD. I'm not interested in them using the money next year if they have it in another superstar and being too top heavy. Nobody is top heavy. Everybody got depth. Everybody got you. If we was to play this year out, will we win a championship this year? No. Will we come close? No. But you would have your picks. You would have your money. It would give you more options next year. This year, what they can do for option number 2, they can go and they can move Russ. And there's a couple trades that they could do, possibly. They could do the Hornets deal, but I don't know if that deal works anymore, because now I can see the Hornets asking for 2 first-round picks. I'm not for Gordon Hayward and Kelly Oubre. I'm not giving up 2 first-round picks. And that's going to be for option 2, I'm going to say that the whole time. I'm not giving up 2 first-round picks for none of the trades that's out there. To me, that doesn't seem like a good option, because you're trying to just cover up more mistakes, and I don't see how you're going to do that. Like, you dug yourself in this hole where you've given up assets, picks, players, and all of these things over the last 3 years, trying to build a top-heavy team in a way, and you got your top-heavy team. It's just not working. You traded Danny Green for Dennis Schroeder and a pick. Now you lost a pick for Dennis Schroeder. You traded Kuzma, KCP, and Trez and a first for Westbrook. Now it's not working. So now you want to trade Westbrook and 2 picks, and you're digging yourself more in a hole, and you're really just throwing away all your assets at this point. I'm not really in favor of that. You got Buddy Hield and Miles Turner. Buddy Hield has not been that great to start the season, and Miles Turner has been injured all season. I'm not trading 2 picks for that. No. And then you have the Spurs deal, which I would be more inclined to do because you get Josh Richardson, McDermott. You probably don't got to give up 2 firsts. That would be more enticing because you get a shooter, you get a wing defender. Does it make you a championship team? No, it doesn't. It don't do that much for you. It improves you a little bit because those guys would fit more than what we're getting from Westbrook right now, but it doesn't make you a championship team. So you're basically, I don't want to say you're throwing away a pick at just a playoff berth, which I think you're going to possibly make the play-in anyway with Westbrook once you guys figure out how to close out games and how to win close games, because that's going to be where they're going to be. A lot of close games that they're going to have to win. Once they figure out how to win close games and close out games, I think they'll be able to make the play-in. But okay, you trade Westbrook, you get McDermott and Richardson, you're a 7 seed now, 6 seed at best. That means you're probably a first or second round exit team, and I just don't see trading a first for that result making that much sense to me. It doesn't make that much sense. And then there's an Orlando Magic idea of making a trade with them, but for that trade to happen, that is where you give up all your flexibility to make any moves next year. You probably can get Gary Harris, but you got to take on Fultz and Jonathan Isaac in this deal, both injury-prone players, both players that are not playing right now. I don't necessarily know if that is the best route for the Lakers to take. In this one, you don't give up 2 firsts either, but I don't know. I'm not necessarily a fan of that one because now you're stuck with 2 injury-prone guys. While they are young, they don't move the needle either for you this year, because what are you going to get from them this year? You don't know. You might not see either one of these guys until maybe the midpoint of the season. I don't know exactly how bad the injuries are, but you probably won't see them until the midpoint of the season. So I don't know. I don't think that is a trade that would get done right away. Like, that's not we want to do that tomorrow. That's a trade that you wait until maybe the trade deadline to do. And at that point, what's the point in making that trade, in my opinion? So those are your options. Option 2 would be trading Westbrook this year, coming up off the first round picks and moving him. Either 1 or 2 of the first round picks, but coming off of both 1 or 2 of them and moving them. Option 3, and this is the option I'm leaning towards, and I'm gonna give my reasons why. Option 3 would be trading LeBron and AD. And the reason why I'm leaning towards this is because I don't look at the Lakers as a Westbrook trade away from being contenders. I just don't. I don't think in any of them packages that I named, if we get a Buddy Hield and a Miles Turner, for instance, I don't think that makes us better or as good as the Warriors. I don't think that makes us better or as good as any of the top 5 teams in the NBA. It doesn't make us that good. We're not that good. It makes us a 6 seed at best, like I said. And then you're looking at an uphill battle, having to beat teams without home court advantage the whole ride. And I don't necessarily want to put emphasis on the home court advantage thing. Like, it's not, I don't want to say it's not a big deal. It is a big deal, but I don't know. I still see us as a 6 seed, and I see us as a 6 seed because we are not going to be that much better with that move. We get a little bit better, We get a little bit better. But what happens if Miles Turner get hurt again? What happens if Buddy Hield stays in a shooting slump? Like, everybody that come to the Lakers, they end up not being able to shoot when they get to the Lakers. And he's already like struggling a little bit with his shot this year. And what happens if that continues with LA? And how much does one shooter who is now looking a little inconsistent with his shot, how does that one shooter impacts the team overall shooting, which is a problem? Not just Westbrook shooting, but the overall team shooting is a problem. You're not shooting the ball good at all. And I don't think one player in a Buddy Hield changes that for you. And I don't think Miles Turner coming in, playing with or behind Anthony Davis changes a lot for you and your fortunes. Like, I just don't think so. So you make that trade, and again, you give up maybe 2 picks. Now you have just dug yourself in a hole that I think is going to be hard for you to dig yourself out of, because next year you're going to have to worry about Buddy Hield's $21 million. So you have $30 million if you stayed pat in option 1. If you just stayed pat, did nothing, and went into the offseason, you had $30 million to spend. Now that's gone because Buddy Hield is getting $21 million next year. So, and then you're going to have to probably sign Miles Turner, possibly. I'm not saying it's a guarantee, but you might have to. And then there's your cap space. And now that's your team. That is your team and now you have given up any possibility on yourself being able to even improve enough next year, even if you wanted to keep LeBron and AD. But you dug yourself in a hole. You can't keep digging yourself in a hole trying to make a situation right that you messed up. You thought Russ was going to fit. It did not work. But you thought Dennis Schroeder was going to fit, and it did not work. So you are here. This is where you at. You have limited assets. You have limited youth and talent that you can utilize in a trade because you traded all the way. You traded away all of your youth and talent. You have limited cap space, so you can't just take on players. You don't have a lot of options at this point other than staying pat, which is option 1. Option 2, you can make those trades, and that might make the fan base feel good, but it won't change our fortunes. And then you got option 3. You can blow this team up and start over. And people will say, well, why would they do that? When are they ever going to find a LeBron James, a Anthony Davis? When are they going to ever have this opportunity to win? I'm gonna be honest with you guys. We don't have an opportunity to win with LeBron James and Anthony Davis. We've had LeBron for, I think, 5 years now. And in those 5 years, we went past the first round of the playoffs. Or 6 years, I think. This might be year 6, I think he's been with us. And we've been past the first round of the playoffs once since he's been here. And this is no knock to him, but it's not like we've been just tearing things up since we got LeBron. We had one run in 2020 that led us to winning a championship after a 3-month break. We had one run that worked. We was a good team in 2020, but it was one run. It was one team. That's 1 year, and we still trying to figure out a way to recreate that team and try to get that feeling back. And that feeling is gone. The window is closed. LeBron and AD are going to take up so much cap space from the Lakers in these next 2+ years. And you look at the future of the Lakers, it's like, well, what are we looking at? If we do option 2, which most people want us to do, and trade away Russ and the picks, then at that point, we now have what going into the future? Just LeBron, AD, 2 guys, one injury prone, one who is an okay shooter at best. And that's it. That's what we have going into this year, next year, and then what? I think the best option for the Lakers is to figure out a way to move off of AD and LeBron. You've had your run. You appreciate the run. But you have to know when to start over and when to really build something sustainable. Every time we keep making these deals where we're trading picks after picks after picks after picks for players that other teams don't want, we are digging ourselves in a deeper hole. And you're going to look up and you're going to say, well, in the next 5 years, what are the Lakers? We don't know what the Lakers are in the next 5 years. They don't have picks. They won't have youth. We don't know what they will be. We don't know what they'll be. And you want to have some direction. Even if the Warriors are a championship team now, even if they wasn't a championship team now, they still got direction. They still have a plan for the next 5 years. And so do a lot of teams. We're the only team that's not built for 5 years of sustained success right now. We're built for, this year. This year. We got to win this year. We're not going to win this year. We're not going to win this year. There is no trade that you can think of that we can make with Westbrook and 2 picks that gets us to win this year. Unless by some miracle we can secure a player that is elite. But I don't see that happening. So there is no move in option 2 that gets us to a championship. Option 1, I can understand that a little bit more because, all right, next year if LeBron and AD are still healthy and good enough to play, then we can go and build a team around them and give it a real chance. That'll be really the best chance we can give it with this group is by waiting until next year when we have cap space and we have some assets still. That would be the best thing we could do. Other than that, you have option 3, which is the option I'm leaning towards, which is we can recoup some of the youth and draft picks that we lost in the deals with Anthony Davis by moving off of LeBron and AD. And I'm not necessarily saying this as they're the problem, but they might be the solution to our problems, which is we don't have youth, we don't have the ability to get better quick, and we don't have assets. We don't have none of those 3 things. And I think that we have to allow Darvin Ham to build out a team. Darvin Ham is a rookie coach trying to coach a terrible situation. And it is not the most ideal situation for a rookie coach to be in. But if he was in a situation where he could mold players that are young and he can develop also as a head coach, I think we just would have to be patient. But we have to be patient now. We're not winning now. So in the last 3 years, we haven't really accomplished anything. So what's going to be different now into the next 3 years? The only difference is if we go with option 3 is that in the next 3 years, we might actually be ready to win. That's not where we're at right now. That's not where we're at. So you guys tell me what y'all think. What options should the Lakers go with? Is there other options beyond the 3 that I named? And let me know.